70% of President Trump's supporters said they would still vote for him again. According to a recent ABC News and Washington Post poll, his supporters have not swayed in any way. Joining us right now, reality TV star Rick Harrison from the hit show Pawn Stars. His business, Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, is featured on the program. Rick, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, we want to talk to you about the business. We also want to talk to you about your support of President Trump. You endorsed then candidate President Trump. How do you think he's doing?
I think he's actually doing a good job. I mean, you wouldn't know that from watching the news. He gets some decent press on Fox. No, it's I mean, there's just a lot to be done, and you can look at the economy. I mean, the effects of the 8 years of Obama is finally showing up. I mean, we had 0.7 GDP growth in the last quarter, and if you figure GDP the way we did 4 years ago, that would be negative growth. 4 years ago, they came up with and decided, but all R&D is suddenly goes into the plus column instead of the expense column, and it was a way the Obama administration actually boosted up GDP. But you know, just make it easy to do business, and people will do business in this country. Just right now, it's just literally a nightmare. Yeah. Well,
you know, what do you think he's doing well? I mean, you say you think he's doing a good job. What's most important to you in terms of what he's doing well?
What I really hope
on growth and jobs?
Yeah, I mean, like, get rid of the regulations, get rid of Obamacare, lower my taxes, and I'll open more businesses. I'm a serial business opener, an entrepreneur. I mean, I have a publishing company, I have a production company, I have a bar, I have a restaurant, I build shopping centers. I do a little bit of everything. Making money is like my 34th favorite thing in the world.
Rick, so my question is, the couple things you mentioned, do you think, based on everything going on in Washington, that, you know, we will see a health care pass? You're going to see tax reform? I know what you want, and I think a lot of the country wants some things done, but
well, there's so much obstructionism.
But based on where things are, what do you think gets done legislatively?
I think they can get the taxes passed, because I think the Republicans
they need to.
I mean, they're politicians, but I think they are smart enough to realize that if we don't they don't do something about taxes, they're not going to stay in office.
I think they realize that too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you know, and I mean, the American public doesn't know. I mean, I tell my employees all the time, do you know that I match your Social Security, I match your Medicare? You ever heard of suit tax or food tax or the other 50 other taxes I have to pay? It's and
death by 1,000 cuts.
Oh, but no, it's death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, like just my pawn business. It's the Obama administration made it illegal for me to loan any money to anyone in the military. I have one compliance guy just for a pawn shop, pawn business. It's the Obama administration made it illegal for me to loan any money to anyone in the military. I have one compliance guy just for a pawn shop. You know, it's everything from Homeland Security, FBI, the local police department, IRS, all these regulations I have to keep an eye on constantly, and it's overwhelming for a smaller business.
Robert, what do you say about that? You were an advisor to President Obama.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to Rick?
You know, listen, I think on the tax side, I've been for tax reform all along. One of with the administration, with having a Republican House during that time, they had to do it revenue neutral. There was zero chance of getting tax reform passed revenue neutral. If you look at the Trump plan today, we're talking about tax cuts. If you're talking about tax reform, there's zero chance he's going to be doing it revenue neutral. So therefore, he's going to have to get the deficit hawks, okay, on his side, which why we've been saying for a lot of the last few months, there's a high likelihood of tax cuts. There's less likelihood of tax reform.
But it's also the regulatory stranglehold that was been on Rick. That's what he's also talking about.
Well,
he couldn't even lend to the military.
Well, my question, I would say, is what has changed? What has changed in the last, 120 days that allows you now to do some of those things? Nothing yet.
Well, at least there's hope now.
No, I agree. My only point is I think we should just differentiate between rhetoric, okay, and actually legislative action. And this is not, listen, I want the president to succeed. I'm an American first, just like Rick is. Okay. That being said, these actions we want have to be passed legislatively. We can, and the market has been vibrant because of these expectations. Now these expectations have to come to pass.
And Rick,
and I hope they do.
And Rick, there's one idea that's being floated in the upcoming budget out of the White House: mandatory 6 weeks of paid family leave for not only mothers but fathers and adoptive parents, which a lot of people, particularly on the left, have called for. But as a small business owner, probably not a fan if it's mandated by the federal government.
It's government's the problem. It really is. I mean, it's, you know, I do well, okay, and I can afford it. I know other small businesses that it would be tough. You know, I mean, especially when you have a mom and pop shop that got 5, 6 employees. All of a sudden, you have a guy, you know, you have to pay 6 weeks for someone to go out.
Listen, I'm with Rick because our drone company. Our drone company has now 50 employees, so we're now at that new threshold, and we're going through all of these regulatory kind of check and balances. We have now, you know, a bunch of HR and compliance officers. Yeah. I hear you as a small business. That being said, I agree with Rick. There's